Right after work, Larissa went to the store. She bought potatoes, carrots, cabbage, onions, celery, dill, sour cream, and many other things needed for fresh soup. Dennis had said last night that he missed fresh soup. The elevator didn't work, and Larissa had to walk up with full bags to the 25th floor. She approached the apartment and pressed the bell button, but the bell didn't work either. It turned out that the electricity was cut off in the whole house. Larissa sighed heavily, took out her keys, and opened the door. Entering the apartment, she immediately heard someone talking in the bedroom. Larissa left her bags in the hallway, went to the bedroom door, and started listening. "What's so funny, Eleonora? What do you find so funny about what I'm saying?" Dennis asked angrily. "Larissa could be here any minute. You have no idea what could happen, and you're laughing? You're funny." "Dennis, that's why I'm laughing," replied Eleanor. "What do you find so funny about me?" Dennis wondered. "You are so amusingly afraid of your wife," replied Eleanor, "that it would make anyone laugh, even me." "Why are you so afraid of her?" Eleanor laughed. "What could she do to you that you're so afraid of her? Maybe you're afraid she'll kick you out of the house?" "She could easily kick you out of the house," said Dennis. "I don't think so," said Eleanor. "You have 2 children. I don't think she wants to be alone with them in this apartment." "How old is she now?" 36. "Do you think she'd go for that? Or maybe you're afraid of something else I don't know." Michael Lex, author of the story and channel, Turkey, Mediterranean Sea, Pir Kemer. Larissa wanted to go into the bedroom and make a scandal. Or maybe not just a scandal, but something more. But a voice from above told her not to. "Don't, Larissa," the voice said. "You won't do anything good for yourself with this. On the contrary, it will only confuse things further. Calm down and just be patient. I'll give you a hint." Larissa took a deep breath, counted to 10, and calmed down. "Indeed, what's the hurry?" she thought. "I'll always have time to make a scandal." A scandal is a simple thing, especially since this person would not be frightened by a scandal. As a rule, they like to scandalize themselves. "No, I don't think so. I have the upper hand right now. I'll wait, I'll listen. Maybe I'll learn something else interesting." "You just don't know her," Dennis said dryly. "If you only knew her, Alyosha, you wouldn't be talking like this now." "Alyosha," thought Larissa. "Even so." Oh, said Eleanor wryly. "If I only knew her. How frightening. I'm trembling with terror. Sooner or later your wife must find out." "There," thought to herself Larissa, "it turns out that I must find out everything, sooner or later. I wonder who I owe it to." "To her. You say all the right things, Elia, but it's better if it doesn't happen here and not now," said Dennis judiciously. "Here in this apartment, understand? We've lived here with her for 5 years. We have 2 children, as you know. It's embarrassing. It's better if you leave now." "Honestly, Alyosha, go away?" "Well, really, Larissa is about to come home from work. What will she say? We've already stayed here longer than we should, and tomorrow we'll meet again. You have no idea what would happen if she caught us here right now." "And what could happen? I wonder," thought Larissa. "Well, I caught them here, so what? I'm not afraid of her," Eleanor said confidently, and glanced sternly at Dennis. "Bold," thought Larissa. "I wonder how old she is, and what does he see in her? She's stupid, by all accounts. She must be very pretty. It would be interesting to look at her." "Oh, all right, I can do that. And let her catch you," Eleanor said. "And anyway, it is not for me to be afraid of her, but for her to be afraid of me. And that goes for you too, Dennis." "Interesting," Larissa thought. "That's news. Why should I be afraid of her?" "What do you mean?" Dennis asked fearfully. "That's what I mean," replied Eleanor. "I don't like to be used." "All right, say how proud she is," thought Larissa. "She doesn't like to be used, you see. What are you doing here now, with such pride?" Larissa again with difficulty restrained herself from bursting into the bedroom and making a scandal there, but a voice from above was there to keep her from doing so. "Calm down, Larissa," the voice whispered. "Not now. Who's using you, Alicia? Dennis justified himself. I love you and you'll see. We'll be married soon. And I'm with Larissa only because there are still a number of unresolved problems. Plus, I have 2 kids. I'll solve all these issues with Larissa, and that's it. Just you and me, and no one in between. How could you think I'd use you? And stop lying around, Alicia. Get dressed, said Dennis nervously. Look at the clock. The bed needs to be made so that Larissa won't notice anything. And you're not dressed yet? Where are your tights? And where's your bra? Where? Eleonora thought. It's still there. Today, by the way, is the anniversary of our acquaintance. Dennis, said Eleanor. That's wonderful, Dennis exclaimed. Let's go to a restaurant and celebrate our anniversary. Well, get out of bed, get dressed, please. Larissa will be here soon. Well, what are you really? Don't you love me? I do, Eleanor replied. Why are you torturing me then? Dennis asked piteously. Because I'm not going anywhere, Dennis, said Eleonora. Don't you realize what's going on now? I've been waiting for this for a long time and I'm not leaving until I find out. Tonight, my love, your wife will know all about us, whether you like it or not. And if you're so scared, you can leave. She's definitely crazy, thought Larissa. Are you crazy? Dennis shouted. I'm not even registered in this apartment. It's Larissa's apartment, and you want to tell her everything? Well, you'll tell her. And then what? Where are we gonna live? At your rented apartment, Lyalia? Or with my mom in Ivanovo? Lelia. Larissa was surprised. What do you mean, the apartment is Larissa's, and you're not registered? Eleonora asked fearfully. That's what it means. Why didn't you tell me that before? Eleonora wondered. I wanted to surprise you, Larissa thought wryly. The voice from above told her that gloating was bad for her health. Why? Dennis was sincerely surprised. You didn't fall in love with me for the sake of this apartment? No, of course not, replied Eleanor. But agree, my love, that nowadays it is. There, Dennis shouted happily. And I have a plan, Layoka. She's Lyasia, she's Lyalia. I'm going to throw up, thought Larissa. What plan? Eleonora asked. I've thought of everything, said Dennis, choking with delight. Larissa and I are selling this apartment now, and at the same time we're buying a bigger one. She bought this apartment before she married me. Do you understand? But when we sell it and buy another one, it'll be a different story. It'll be like we bought it together. Do you understand? I understand, replied Eleanor. You are my darling, thought Larissa. She understands. That's good, said Dennis cheerfully. Now come on, my girl, get out of bed, get dressed and let's go. Where are your tights? Where have you thrown them? What's with the habit of throwing pantyhose under the bed? All right, don't grumble, Eleanor said, convinced. I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed, I'm going to the restaurant with you. Let's get out of here, Larissa, said a voice from above, as quickly and quietly as possible. Larissa thought very quickly. She quietly returned to the hallway, quietly took the grocery bags, quietly left the apartment, quietly closed the door behind her, and went up the floor above, standing on the shared loggia and looking down. Larissa waited for Dennis and Eleanor to come out of the entryway. Dennis came home at about the beginning of 1 in the morning. He told his wife that he was late at work. It's nothing, my love, said Larissa. I've been offered a wonderful apartment, but I don't have enough money. If you could borrow money from someone. I have no one to borrow from, said Dennis defiantly. Then we'll be without an apartment, Larissa said dryly. We'll continue to live in this one. In a week the children will be back from their grandmother. It will be nice. Couldn't we find an apartment with enough money for us? Dennis asked. I don't want another one, Larissa shouted back and threw her slipper at Dennis. It happened so fast that Dennis didn't even have time to dodge, and the slipper hit him on the nose. I want this one, Larissa shouted. So think, my love, either we stay here or look for 3 million. It was the first time Dennis had seen his wife so angry. He realized that Larissa was not joking. But where to get the money? Dennis thought, smearing the blood coming from his nose on his face. What if Eleanor has that kind of money? She has more than that. She said herself that she was going to buy a 1-bedroom next month. 3 hours. For 3 long hours Dennis had persuaded Eleonora to lend him the money. He didn't talk her into it. He begged her. He crawled on his knees, convinced her it was the right thing to do, and he finally did. Eleanor believed that after Dennis's divorce, she'd get a lot more. My love, I've got the missing sum, Dennis shouted happily. Lucky you and Eleanor, thought Larissa. You two are definitely worth each other. Well, I got it and I got it, Larissa said calmly. Why yell? Do you know how difficult it was? Dennis said enthusiastically. I can imagine, said Larissa. No, my love, even you can't imagine such a thing, said Dennis, remembering how he had crawled at Eleanor's feet and almost cried, begging her to lend him money. To imagine such a thing, one would have to be. Well done, Larissa interrupted him. Tomorrow we can make a deal. You don't need me there, Dennis asked. What do I need you for? Larissa was surprised. I'm selling my apartment. It's simple. And to buy another one. I don't need you either. That's good, said Dennis. You, my dear, are the most cunning, thought Dennis. And I'm not shoddy either. You can register as much as you like on yourself, but only after the divorce. Half of it will still be mine. Larissa sold the old apartment and bought a new one, which she registered with her mother. She explained to her mom the reason for her action. Mama, the wool from the skinny sheep, Larissa said when the deal was finalized. Dennis and Eleanor were celebrating their success in the apartment Eleanor rented when the doorbell rang. Who the hell is this? Eleanor asked. The landlady, I guess. She's here for the money. Stay here, keep your head down. I don't want her to see you. You can watch TV for a while. Dennis turned on the TV. Hello, said Larissa. Don't you recognize me? I'm Larissa, Dennis's wife. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time, but I never got the chance. But today I tracked you and Dennis down on purpose, and now I thought I'd stop by. May I come in? Eleanor answered confusedly. May I? Rejoiced Larissa. That's great. It's good that you are such a simple and sweet woman. I don't like all these scandals. Sharing a man. Well, what could be worse? If you'll excuse me, I'll take off my boots. I've been on my feet all morning. My feet are tired. Here are my slippers. Slippers. How nice. Which way? Kitchen, please. Oh, that's lovely. Kitchen. Larissa went to the kitchen, looking at the apartment with interest. It's nice here, said Larissa. Do you like it? I like it very much. Should I call Dennis? What for? Never mind him. I came to see you, Eleonora. I don't need Dennis anymore. What do you mean? In the sense that he's yours now, Larissa replied. Completely and totally. I'm happy for Dennis, honestly. Why are you happy for him? Eleanor asked, confused. Well, of course, exclaimed Larissa. After all, leaving me, he will marry you. And in our time to marry at 40 years old, without an apartment, such a thing is possible only for great love. How not having an apartment? Surprised Eleanor. Allow me, but I know for a fact that you sold your apartment and bought a new one. Which means what? What? Larissa made frightened eyes. We'll share, Eleonora answered. And it turns out that Dennis is not such an unprofitable fiancé in his 40s. We won't share, said Larissa, and nothing with Dennis is working out. Why not? Eleonora didn't understand. Why can't it work out? Because I really sold my apartment, said Larissa, and I haven't bought a new one. What do you mean you haven't bought a new one? Eleanor asked, frightened. Dennis told me that you did. Dennis is such a dreamer, said Larissa. He read a lot of fairy tale and fantasy literature as a child. Well, sometimes he gets carried away in his fantasies. You listen to him less. Larissa revealed all the details of the deal. Listening to them, Eleanor silently opened and closed her mouth. Larissa looked at her watch. Oh, she said, I have to go. It was nice to meet you. Eleonora, say hello to Dennis. Will we solve all the unresolved problems with him during the divorce? You know, like alimony and stuff, right? Why don't you say something, Eleanor? I understand. You need to think things over now. You've got a lot on your plate right now. Don't see me off. Larissa left. When Eleanor came into the room, Dennis realized from her face that something terrible had happened.